Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ozarks Homestead. So today I wanted to talk to you about fermenting your chicken feed and how hopefully it's going to save us up to 25% on our feed bill. So with inflation and everything else going on in this world right now, we really need to save some money on our chicken feed. We're going through about one 40 to 50 pound bag every 2 days with our chickens, our ducks, our turkeys, all the babies that we got around here. It's insane, and these bags are like $16, $17 a bag, so we're spending an ungodly amount on chicken feed. Not to mention we're also free ranging. So we're going to go ahead and give fermenting the chicken feed a try. It is best to use whole grains, but today being Sunday, Father's Day, we were unable to get to a feed store. Tractor Supply was the only place that was open. These are a couple of your common Tractor Supply brands, Do More and Producer's Pride. We're going to try fermenting scratch grains and the regular chicken pellet. So it's just regular pellet. You can see that. It's nothing fancy, regular chicken pellet. Now you can do this, but it turns kind of into a mushy, soppy kind of mush, but you can still ferment it. So obviously when you're adding water to these and fermenting them, it's going to increase the volume or the weight because it's soaked up with water. But beyond that, the health for your chickens is going to improve as well because it's just going to create a good bio load of good bacteria and live things instead of just a bunch of dry, dusty chicken food. So hopefully cost savings and chicken health are all going to increase. But I'm going to walk you through the whole process and show you from beginning to end and just talk about how it's working out and maybe mistakes I might make or hopefully not. So first thing you do is you get 2 food grade buckets, you clean them out nice and clean. Get your food that you're going to want to ferment, and then you just going to put some in there. Keep in mind, when you put water into these buckets, the food needs to be completely covered, so you don't want to fill the bucket full. I would say half full at most. Keep in mind it's going to get heavier, it's going to expand a little bit, so we're just going to, and keep in mind how much you're going to be feeding as well. You don't want it to sit around too long. I don't know how long you can keep fermented foods, but hopefully in this process we're going to figure that out. So there we go. We're going to go with about 25% full, maybe 30% full. So you can see it's filled up to about right there, slightly below half. Now we're going to do the scratch grains. This is just regular scratch grains. Take a look at it. It's a bunch of cracked corn and other things. It's only 7% protein on scratch grains, 16% protein on the layer pellet. So that's why technically wouldn't just feed solely scratch grains, but the purpose of this is to see how well they ferment. And hopefully obviously I think the chickens are going to like the scratch grain better, but we'll see. Alright, we're just going to go to there on that one. And for the purpose of this video, I brought buckets with water, because normally I would just take these out to the hose, but probably going to have to add some more water. Now when you put your water in here, you're going to want to mix it up. You want to get all the air bubbles out, come to the top. You don't want to have any pockets of air or anything sitting in there. You just want it to be fully submerged and get it to fermenting. Oh yeah, this is already getting the pellets are already breaking down. That's to be expected. It's just getting really mushy already. I'm gonna have to add more water. So let me cut out here and get a couple more buckets of water and make sure I do this properly. Yeah, this is already sticking out of the water. So I'm going to add quite a bit more into that one. And this All right. Let's give it another mix up. Yeah, this is turning into a bunch of mush. Quite honestly. Bunch of mush. Alright, these are mixed up just fine. Okay, so you saw where I filled these up to before. This one is filled up to about right here. You guys can't see, huh? Okay, so for the layer pellet in this bucket right here, it's filled up with water now, almost full. So it's to about right here. Because it's soaked up a lot and it's just, it's, you know, increased in mass. So we had to use more water. This one now, scratch greens, we're only filled up to about right here. So now, during the fermentation process, it's going to create gases and you'll see it bubbling. That's a good thing. You want to see bubbles in here. And you'll want to keep the air from, and the gas from getting built up inside the food. So you're going to want to come out and stir it up at least twice a day, I would recommend. As far as weather and temperature goes, it's going to be out here in my garage. Current temperature is probably about 80. It's supposed to be up to 86 today. The next few days are going to be in the 90s. So we're not putting it in the house. We're not keeping it cool. I don't know if it's going to speed up or slow down the fermentation process. I'm assuming it would speed it up. But I would say you need to let it ferment for at least 24 hours to get going before you can start feeding it to your chickens. But you could feed it to them whenever you want. But for best results, usually let it ferment for 3 days. So we're going to start feeding this at 24 hours because they're not going to eat it all in one setting. So we should be able to at least have this fermenting for 3 days. I'll leave some set aside to let it go longer to see how long it takes before it goes bad, I guess you could say. All right. Okay, so it's been a couple of hours since I started this. Man, I put the lids on because there's just a bunch of flies in here. Now, they're not on tight. They're just sitting on there to keep the flies out. And we're going to give you an idea of what it looks like after a couple hours. So you can see that there's a little bit of foam on the top. Some of the stuff is still floating. This is just a paint stick, by the way, that I'm going to use to stir it up. This is still quite hard, slightly foamy. Alright, this was the scratch green, and this is the layer pellet over here. Oh man. So this is definitely filled up to the brim here. So it's funny how this bucket less than half full has almost turned into a full bucket. It's pretty thick. I almost feel like I need to add more water. It's not fully submerged in water. I need to, well, I guess we can test the consistency. Yeah, it's just thick all the way through. It's like mash. I feel like that with the heat, it just needs more water in it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now that should be sufficient amount of water for sure. Alright. Let it do its thing. See what it looks like tomorrow. Check this out. It's about 4 or 5 hours later. Look how bubbly that is. That was the pellet, layer pellet. And that was the scratch greens. All right, it's the next morning, probably about, I don't know, 16 hours later. Let's go ahead and open these up. Let's open up the scratch grains. Oh, look at how foamy it is. That is the, oh, you can see, let's see if you can see, watch. When I mix it, when I disturb it down here, look at all the bubbles coming up. See that? That is why you need to keep these mixed, or mix them occasionally, is to let those gases escape. From the mixture. Now this paint mixing stick is definitely not thick enough, so I'm having to kind of cut through it like butter. But yep, fermentation is well on its way. All right, layer pellet. Ugh. Gnarls. See if it does the same thing. It doesn't look like there's a little bit. There's not as much air being released because this has turned more into a mash than anything. But it is still fermenting. Good stuff. Okay, it's been about 24 hours and I have to say I wasn't expecting the explosion here. But this bucket was filled full, but it is definitely, I mean, it is significantly more than what it was. So you can see the water, it's all floating. The water is down beneath. Well, what I think I'm gonna have to do is take some of this out, give it to my chickens just to make some room in here. Keep it. You can see that the scratch grains has not done the same. It's still at the same level. It's fermenting. Lots of bubbles coming up in here. It actually has a sour kind of smell to it, like a fermenting smell. It's kind of weird. So let me get a little bit of this scooped up and we're gonna see how the chickens like it. Look at it, I cleared a spot and it just started actively gurgling right there. There was lots of gas trapped underneath. It's probably why it was being pushed up. Look at that. Look at that. Clear spot, look. Just comes roiling up. Let's try it over here. Oh, it's that big. Yeah, this stuff is on fast ferment. Look at all that. Oh. So yeah, I must not have stirred it enough. It looks like it kind of, all the soupy stuff got pushed up by the gas and it was just holding it up. Once I broke through, and then it just all bubbled. I mean, it looks like it's boiling. It smells, yeah, it smells fermenty. Doesn't smell bad, doesn't smell good. Took some of the thicker stuff off the top. Let's go see if the chickens like it. And try it. Back up a little bit. These are my free range guys, and see how they, see if they like it. Well, it looks like they kind of like it. It's pretty hot out here. They've been free ranged all day, but turkeys like it. You got a dirty mouth, boy. Stuff stuck all over his beak. I'm not sure what they think about it. Oh, no. Share. Be nice. All right. Just takes one. They are unsure. That doesn't look like my normal food bowl. Hey, can you guys pipe down? I'm trying to make a video. Hey. Shh. I'm trying to make a video. Shh. Hey. It's naughty chickens. Alright, I'm gonna give these guys a few minutes to get used to that bowl. They're pretty sketch. Look at these guys. They're like, what is that? Okay, so it's been maybe 20 minutes. It doesn't look like they've touched it, but they also, it's definitely the hot part of the day. They haven't even finished their food. And they haven't done much in here, so we're gonna go ahead and try with somebody else who hasn't had food, or at least a lot of food. These guys right here. See how they do with this stuff. Oh, they got food too. This might be a better thing though. We'll see what they do. See how they do in their coop. So you can see that they got their regular food, and they're gonna try that. Seems like they like it. We'll check back. Okay, so it's probably been about another 4 hours since I removed that feed and stirred it. And you can see that it's bubbling. So whatever happened overnight just got this all percolating, and look at that. You know, I worked in a winery, and it kind of smells, you know, around grapes and all that process, it really does smell like, fermentation has a unique smell. You'll know it when you smell it. Look at that. It's like a soda can. It's weird how these have different consistency. Well, you know, it was a mashy type thing, so this is just different. This one is. And something to take note, I don't know if it's affecting it, but this is a more solid container in transparency wise or opaqueness. This one is more see-through, so you can see the corn and stuff in here. This one's much more white, much more thick. And I know that fermentation process does not like light, so I'm not sure if that has slowed down the process or affected the process. Not 100% sure. Okay, today is day 3. Well, at least day 3 for the scratch grains, because I cheated with the other bucket. I fed some and then I added some more. I added some more layer pellet in there yesterday, so we're gonna wait another day before we feed that. So I got my little strainer, and I'm gonna go ahead and just scoop this out, get a couple buckets. Now you'll know if your stuff is bad because it'll smell different. It should smell slightly, I wanna say sour, but it's not really sour, kind of like a sweet, tangy yogurt, plain yogurt or something like that. It's not a bad smell, you know, so you'll know when it goes bad, if it goes bad, and all that good stuff. Everybody's waiting. Everybody's waiting for fermented breakfast. All right. What do you guys think, huh? Little fermented breakfast there. It's plenty for 3 turkeys, yeah? Look at this. Couldn't wait. Door's not even closed yet. So, probiotics, easy digestion, chickens get to utilize, there's not so much waste. Nope, 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 you guys aren't coming out. It's not your day. It's not your day to free range. Hey, hey, wait till I put it in your bowl there, Missy.